So let's go.
Let's do
Jinkies.
it. Yes. Zoinks.
Yes. Zoinks.
Welcome to the Artie's Attic Warehouse 13 Fancast, where a steampunk girl, a lifelong sci-fi fan, and a rocket scientist chat about the popular 2009 sci-fi series. There's never a dull moment with the agents dedicated to protect humankind from unexplained phenomena that manifest their powers in special objects. And there's all those friendships and relationships along the way. Grab a cookie while you can. Hope you don't smell fudge. Gear up with your Farnsworth, Tesla, and neutralizer, and let's have some fun by snagging it, bagging it, and tagging it.
Welcome back to Artie's Attic. We're a Warehouse 13 fan cast. I'm the Warehouse 13 janitor, wondering who the heck Claire's room guard is. My name is SP.
Yeah, their security sucks.
Who is that guy? I've never seen this security before.
Nope.
He's a red shirt. Wrong show, but still the same thing. Although we didn't see him die. But yeah,
Nope.
still.
He just literally left the room.
He literally left the room to go check on the security.
I've got a theory on that. We'll talk about that later. And introducing Artie's Attic lead agent and historian who is ready to don special underwear to save the day. It's Agent Shannon.
It is my girl. What's up, guys?
Yeah, but no leather outfit that time, just underwear.
Just the
Like
underwear.
how she just shimmied into it and he just ripped it off of her. Yeah.
He did.
He did. Myka.
And also returning is the warehouse agent who asks her coworkers to give her a polygraph. It's Agent Carolyn.
Why would I do that?
Jinxie, tell me I'm
Oh,
lying.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Totally. Ask me anything. Maybe. Just kidding. No, don't do that.
We have some questions.
I have a few questions.
You would cave under pressure?
I would.
She would.
I would.
We are continuing
I
our
know
Warehouse
this.
13 series discussion with the episode that premiered on Monday, May 12th, 2014, 7 months before TNT premiered the TV series The Librarians, continuing the Librarian film series from the early 2000s.
I love that show.
I've never watched it. I don't think.
Really? Oh, there's going to be a new one out later this month from Dean Devlin. Oh, I can't
Isn't
wait.
it
It's going to be
very
so
much
good.
like Warehouse 13?
Huh?
Is it a lot like Warehouse 13?
Yes and no. I mean, it gives me Warehouse 13 vibes. Did you ever watch the movies, The Librarians, with Noah Wyle in them?
No.
Oh, they're really good too. You can probably find them somewhere, I'm sure. But the show was just really good. It is kind of like Warehouse 13. They did
Actually, I
go
think I remember seeing
searching
one
for
episode.
objects, and they had a guardian of the library. And I mean, it does give
It's
you a
got
lot
Rebecca in it, right?
of. Yes, it does have Rebecca in it. This one, the new one, is going to have the gal from, what was it called? She was a Black Blood.
What? What?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know they're going to do a continuation. It's all in the same universe. The
Yes.
movies, the series, and this continuation. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe after we're done with this, we might watch a movie.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? All right.
Sure.
I'm referring to the Warehouse 13 Season 5, 5th episode, the penultimate Warehouse 13 episode,
That you can't
Cangku
pronounce.
Shisi. I had it. I had it.
One antimony.
Cangku Shisi. The Amazon Prime Video description reads, the Warehouse team discovers that Valda, with guest star Mark Shepard, has escaped from Paracelsus' alternative universe and is attempting to move the Warehouse to China, using Claudia's comatose sister Claire as a puppet caretaker. Pete, Myka, Artie, Claudia, and Steve must race across the world to stop Valda before he becomes too powerful. Shannon, I have a very important question for you. Who was your favorite Scooby Doo character?
Scooby.
Oh, Scooby
Arr.
Snacks. All right.
Scooby snack?
So there's something for everybody, right? There's Scooby, there's the Shaggy character, there's Fred, the athletic guy, Shaggy, probably the stoner, right? Probably the stoner.
Very
Definitely.
much a stoner. Yep.
I mean, always talking about snacks.
Velma and who are the girls again? Daphne. And Daphne, was Daphne the cheerleader type and Velma
Daphne was the cheerleader type and Velma was the one with glasses and the...
So you got the librarian and you got the hoe. Okay. And the stoner and Jock.
I was just going to say, I would take that one. Yeah.
It was definitely an eclectic group. Yes. Outpost. That's the show I was talking about that the Guardian is from.
Took you a minute.
Outpost.
Okay.
Her name is
I had
Jessica
those moments
Green.
of outburst too.
All right.
Moments of outburst. Shannon would really love The Outpost. She should watch it.
Okay. Well, the important part about this episode, aside from the Scooby Doo reference, was the fact that it continued Claudia's story. I think they did that very well. I think they're kind of rushing to wrap things up, but I think it was okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? It was a good episode, bad episode? What do you think?
Well, of course she's going to go after her sister. And of course, when Badger returns, even though I know it's not Badger, that's what I call him when I look at him. Yeah, when Valda returns, I mean, why wouldn't any of the agents ever be told that there's a possibility that the warehouse can be moved?
It's in the handbook.
It's in the handbook.
Did Myka know?
If it was in the handbook,
Probably.
she's read it from the back.
She's read
she knew. Yeah.
And in all the memos from the emails.
Probably. I mean, I think that you could tell that they're really scared, but I think Claudia obviously is going to go after her sister. And for the fact that Valda realizes he needs that blood. So I could throw a question back at you. If you need Claudia and you can't have Claudia, and their next big thing would be your sister, how come you haven't taken it from Josh all these years?
Great question. I think if you were going to reboot the series, continuation maybe, but if you were going to reboot the series, I would focus in on Claudia's family. Claudia's family would be the central point of this entire series. The three kids, the adult. I swear to Crom, those adults, those parents were somehow involved in the warehouse, right?
Oh, yeah.
At
most
some
definitely.
point. So they're a very warehouse involved family. I don't think you have to go so far as to say the warehouse revolves around the family, but I could say that the family does revolve around the warehouse.
Highly involved, yeah.
So if that is true, the three of them would definitely be interchangeable as a caretaker in an emergency. Claudia is definitely the lead for that, but the other two could be, in that situation. So I completely agree with you. We don't see Josh at all this season, which kind of gets into my point of the guard in that room. I don't know if this was just a payoff, like, I'll get you in a scene sometime. And then they had the guy in the scene, like he was crew for
somebody's
many years.
nephew or something.
But I actually think that should have been either Mrs. Fredrick, who is busy filming Sons of Anarchy, or another regent. And they just couldn't bring them in due to budget, due to schedule, whatever. So they had the one guy in there just so the script worked. That's my take on it.
But then why wouldn't there have been a security guy the first time Claudia broke in and then Myka was in there?
Anytime.
Well, isn't this supposed to be an extension of the warehouse? I mean, they're in the warehouse. Right? So, and again,
is it? Because it looks like they keep going.
You would have a guy that you didn't even know that wasn't working for the warehouse, and then just mysteriously, he's been planted in for contract security for just a couple days.
I don't think this is actually in the warehouse, because every time they go to it, they're like, you see them traveling somewhere else, and it's not in the warehouse. They're not, it's like in a city in like another place. It's probably like one of those,
like the grocery store.
Grocery stores, like the Regents have all these little things in plain sight. This is one of those things in plain sight with really terrible security, apparently.
They have never out and out stated, and my headcanon is it's in the warehouse. That's my headcanon. I understand your story. I see how it could work logically, right? But it's never stated one or the other. So that's a fault in of itself.
So we could both be right.
Or wrong.
Or wrong. The other question, though, did you guys pick up on the fact that Mrs. Fredrick's sister was the first caretaker? And then when she died in a fire in 18-something or other,
So heir and a spare.
her sister was given the job, and then it was Mrs. Fredrick. Wait a minute, 18-something or other?
Yeah.
Damn, I need to know what moisturizer she uses.
Well, we've seen when she no longer is connected to the warehouse that she quickly dies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
It gave me the Wicked Witch of the West kind of feel where she shriveled up and all you had left was the shoes. I mean, come on. Yeah.
So
Her
yeah, I
glasses,
definitely
her
caught that,
weave.
and I don't remember if we get that full story next episode or not, but it definitely is something of note. Like that is also something that could be played out in a reboot. That whole story of Mrs. Fredrick and how she got from point A to point. Matter of fact, I think the Warehouse 13, the one that we know from the sci-fi, the one that we just watched 63 episodes of, focuses kind of on the agents. I think it should really focus on the caretakers.
that would be cool to see the caretakers, goodness gracious, over the years.
Takers?
Carrot takers? Carrot takers. Wee. To me, this episode had a lot going on. Like there was a lot going on in this episode. Some of the parts were very rushed, and I understand why they're doing them, but I was not really the whole Pete not wanting to be around Myka thing, and
It was a bit
that
redundant,
story was just kind of
Over it.
yeah. I mean, I get why they're doing it. I get why they put it in there. And I get why at the end, Pete looks at Jinx and says, okay, tell me if I'm lying. I'm in love with Myka Baring. And Jinx looks at him and goes, oh my gosh. He says, I know. The dog barks, I know. But I think, because Myka was just, being like partner. Well, come on, you can bring your favorite teddy bear and blanket and we'll just go check this out. And she's just like, come on, partner. And Pete, you really need to stop eating the sugar kind of thing.
I took Myka's interactions a little differently this time around. Like Pete has come out and said it to her and said, no, we don't have to worry about this in the future or whatever. I took her interactions to say, I'm exploring this. I am.
Really?
Yes, because it was not the standard give and go relationship that they've had up to this point. I took it to mean like she's getting a little closer. Like, okay, let's try this out. Let's try being closer.
I did not bring it.
I didn't get that either.
I didn't get that.
I got that he was annoying her like always and get to it. Just put it down. We got work to do.
Yeah.
Get over there and research. Find something of him.
Stop touching things as he's flicking the wheel.
To her, Pete was just being Pete like always.
Yeah, and it flips the whole
warehouse.
Pete, stop touching things as it makes a big foghorn sound. Pete, flip it the other way. I think to me it was she was just annoyed like usual and treating him like the partner that he is. I mean, I'm not saying your opinion is wrong or anything. It's just I didn't see that. But his part
but he was so painfully obvious. Even Jinx is like
too forced. I mean, I get why they did it because in the last episode, she's like, well, we never worked because you're in love with Myka. And then he's like, uh-oh, I think I am. And then he tries to just avoid her. And Jinx is like, why are you trying to avoid Myka? I'm not trying to avoid Myka. Why do you think I'm avoiding Myka? That lying thing, it was good for about 6 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, that power is really interesting of Jinx's, and it can be used for good. In this case, like figuring out exactly where you stand on something. I think that was a good use of the power. Like up to this point, it's kind of a detective sort of thing. This was like, I'm your friend. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying sort of thing. And he's like, no, this is how you actually feel.
I did like the dog had more action in this one too. We did see the dog twice.
Trailer.
You stay. No, not you, Jinx. Get over here.
And I think trailer could have been very much more useful in this whole thing.
Trailer's who they should have used to guard her, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Guard dog.
Trailer should have been the guard dog.
So, Shannon, I do have another question for you if you're ready.
Yeah.
When's the last time you wore silky underwear on the outside to the park?
I cannot recall a time.
Okay.
I mean,
So last time you were blackout drunk?
hey,
Yeah.
I don't think I went anywhere. No, so I'll save.
Okay.
My question is, last time she put that underwear on, instantly she had this outfit in leather. Why did it not happen this time?
I did enjoy the strut she had, though.
I don't know why that didn't happen. Maybe because the artifact was diminished in power after they had corralled it. I don't know.
Possible?
It's probably just a special effects and continuity issue.
It's supposed to be the same artifact from the other episode, right?
Yep.
Where she's
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
It looked
superhero.
different.
It's the
The
superhero
trunks.
artifact.
the
Yes.
vigilante artifact. Yes.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the hair to catch her, the air to catch her
Right?
hair and, be Myka.
There was no ole in this one.
Thank God.
All right, Shannon. I got another question for you. Do you like Chinese food or burritos better?
That
I love me some Chinese food.
Okay.
Yes.
have a
was pretty
favorite?
funny.
Dish or just Chinese food in general?
I love orange chicken.
Orange chicken?
Chicken.
Spicy orange chicken or
No.
sweet?
No
Sweet orange.
spicy.
Yeah, sweet orange chicken.
No
Good
spicy. It does bad
chicken.
things to me.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, that's what Pete was saying when they were going to China. It's like, oh,
I don't want to move to China. You can't even get a decent burrito there.
Poor Pete.
Or let's go to China and make sure you can't do any takeout. Wait, I don't remember the portal that went to China. When was that first done?
the portal?
Sykes.
Yeah.
That's the one that Myka and, bears Wills and burying a Wills
Was
when they were
that-
playing chess. Where the
Well, I
wall
thought that
closed
one
in
was
on them.
closed because they couldn't, because you had to do the puzzle and everything. So both ends were closed. I thought
See?
that was a
Bubble
different
guppies.
spot in the warehouse too.
Exactly. It's supposed to be closed because that's why Pete's mom had to take the flight all the way back around.
Yeah.
That's another thing in a reboot that I think they should redo is, and I know the whole thing about the warehouses is very dark. We've been talking about it for years now, that the Warehouse 13 is a dark series at its heart,
Mhm.
and that there's always a serious negative effect of using artifacts. And I think if you were going to redo it, you would get rid of that serious negative effect for certain artifacts, and the portal would be one, because it would explain away so many things, like the travel across the world in instantaneous. It would explain it away. And this is a special thing that we're able to use to do that. Artie's got how many artifacts in his satchel? And Claudia's been using
And a
artifacts.
sandwich.
Poppins bag
Yeah.
and his
And his
sandwich.
Yeah.
So why not the portal? And I think that's probably what they said. Okay, let's try this.
It's sometimes, I know it's bubble guppies and I know the reality is they bring them different ones in sometimes, but it's like if you were going to be hired to be a writer, you could at least go back and watch the episodes because they have continuation sometimes.
Writers for this episode. I won't go into everything, but we've had them before. It was Benjamin Robb and Derek A. Hughes. Benjamin Robb has 17 episodes of Warehouse 13. Derek
Wow.
A. Hughes has 21 episodes of Warehouse 13.
All right, so
starting
they should
in the
know.
first, yes, starting in the
So
first
they
season.
should know.
Mhm.
they should know what the artifacts were. They should know that the whole, okay, mom, I'll see you in about 6 hours when you fly back all the way to the warehouse. Oh,
Well, that was
instead of,
on
let me just open this
that
back
end
up
to
and you
this
come on
end.
through.
So from
Mm.
our end to that end, I guess it worked. But they instantly went to the whole stadium. All of a sudden they were
Why
there.
couldn't Pete open it up for his mom? It doesn't matter. It's
Mm.
We know it's bubble guppies. It was an afterthought. But
All right, Shannon, another question. How
you're
would
just
you
loading me
feel?
down. Okay.
I know. I just have a few more. So how would you feel if your sister was the caretaker of the warehouse and not you?
Well, I guess that would depend on which one. I have two.
That's valid.
I get like a cheap card. You know what? It sounds fun. I think I would enjoy being the caretaker, but I don't want the paperwork. So if she gets the paperwork side of it, then I get the fun side of it. I'm good with this.
Yeah, I think you'd be more agent.
I get to be the roaming caretaker, the field agent. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I think you would be more agent than you are caretaker.
Well, that's kind of like what Claudia is. Yes. Mrs. Fredrick is the paperwork side of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she does any paperwork or not. I don't know.
She probably has people.
I did like how they sewed up the Claire storyline, right? So they were able to take the energy out of her, put it in Valda, in the evil Valda, and then
the Nazi Valda.
Send the Nazi Valda back to his timeline, back to his universe using the fork.
Fork you! Hey, Valda, fork you!
So that solved all the problems.
I mean, Pete was actually really good in this one. Like, he solved most of the problems in this one. He figured out a lot of things. He figured out sending the energy back, and then he's like, no, that'd be a bad idea. And then he's like, actually, that'd be a good idea, because I have a plan. He steals the fork, and then the energy goes into Valda, and then Valda disappears, so does the energy. But by energy, Claudia's sister is all perfect and better again.
I'll tell you what other kind of energy I was having in this episode. Do you remember, I think it was season 2, when they first met HG, when she flung him up on the wall and they couldn't get down?
Yeah.
That's what this felt like.
Yep.
I was like, bring in some HG. She would be able to get Valda.
Yeah, and back to the Claire storyline here, the way that she connected with her sister was great because they foreshadowed it in the coffee house with them singing together previously in the season, right?
Yeah.
So that was well set up.
The song stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Gonna get that song, Earworm. Another song stuck in your head.
So, yeah, I did enjoy that. And I think this was the last time we see Claire. I don't think we're going to see her again. So it was good that Claudia had that. But again, Joshua, it's like Joshua should have been there at the end to say, hey, Claire, it's great to have you back and stuff.
Well, I mean, she did book them at the place in 8 weeks. So they'll be back together to have their first jamming session because she gave her guitar back to her sister and she's going to buy her own guitar.
Yeah. And talking about the coffee house, I do have a question for Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
When are you planning a trip to the Unnaville Coffee House?
You know, the thing's kind of hard to find.
It's in Unnaville, South Dakota.
Unnaville. Maybe the only thing in South Dakota, other than the post office, right?
Okay, there's a lot of things in South Dakota.
And the vet shop.
There's the Badlands.
And the warehouse.
There is the Corn Palace in Mitchell. There
the hardware store.
Wall Drug. There is the Mount Rushmore. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in South Dakota.
But not near Unnaville.
Unnaville has the hardware store where her boyfriend worked.
Oh, yeah, the hardware store.
Post office that Pete couldn't get his belongings from.
It's closed.
And an ice cream place that he takes the girls to sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, if you plan a trip to Unnaville, you better put it on social media so we can all join you.
Check. Maybe I could find one next week in Florida.
I did find it funny when they were trying to explain to Pete the hammer that needed to be reassembled in order to strike the cornerstone to make the warehouse all the things energize. And Claudia's like, he's like, can somebody explain this to me? And Claudia's like, it'd be like Star Trek and the transporters minus the dilithium crystals. Oh, okay. He got that. But he couldn't get the fact that the hammer changes all the energy when you whack it against this cornerstone.
So they bring out the hammer, and this was 2014. So it was not that far, like 5 years after Thor aired the MCU movie Thor. Mm-hmm. So I see the hammer, and instantaneously, ever since that, I'm like, hammer, hammer. That's all I think about.
Mew.
Yeah, Mew Mew. Meow
Meow.
Meow.
Meow Meow. Meow Meow.
Kat Dennings. Meow Meow.
Meow Meow.
Meow Meow.
Kat Dennings as Darcy renamed Mjolnir as Meow Meow.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She did. Yeah. So it was funny to listen to that This is the first time somebody, one of our, Pete smells fudge. He was walking towards the record player and he's like, fudge? Smack! He gets hit with the sonic boom. Which I had to like pause that and read that record, why it gave a sonic boom. Did you write down that artifact?
Who was the record?
Chuck Yeager's favorite record,
Yeager.
I believe. Yeah, Chuck Yeager's favorite LP, a record once owned by Chuck Yeager, the first man to break through the sound barrier. If anyone gets too close to the record while it's playing, it generates a powerful sonic boom.
That's what it was. I had to pause it so I could read that because I was like, I know who Chuck Yeager is, but why is that a thing with a record? It didn't make any sense. Oh, because it doesn't have to make sense. It's
Wait, we're never going to get tired of saying that word. People, if you've never listened to a podcast, you're like, what the hell's a bubble guppy? Bubble guppy? It's a thing.
It's just how you explain things. It's just how you explain things.
It's a because plot, quote unquote.
It's a thing that makes no sense. You're like, oh, it must be one of those things that makes no sense. It's a bubble guppy.
Mm-hmm.
Like swimming, but like flying an airplane underwater and still being able to function. In the cartoon, bubble guppies.
It was interesting to see how they transport things to the next warehouse and what happens and what has to happen in order to transport things to the next warehouse. And how long was Valda in there creating this whole thing and flying under the radar? I mean, how did Claudia's things, and how did Claudia's alarm system not trigger the fact that the compass had moved? I mean, she put in a whole new security system, so the compass moving should have triggered something. But apparently Valda is too slick.
And it didn't look like he had a place big enough for everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember the warehouse expands and contracts. Yeah. I was going to say grows, but expands and contracts as needed.
I did enjoy the part where Jinx is like, well, if we destroy the compass, how are they going to move everything in the warehouse? Artie's like, let them use FedEx.
Still around at least.
I think one of my favorite parts had to have been the fact that when so the compass turns around and they were trying to stop it, and Artie grabbed this rope and he's like, I will not let you steal my warehouse, and he starts wrapping it around the thing and it pulls it out of the wall. And then he looks at Jinx and he's like, help me. And he's like, well, what's the provenance of this rope? Nothing. It's just a rope. Pull. And then it finally, like, they do their thing in China and make it so that nothing is going to go. And they start looking at the rope like, we did it. And Jinx is like, well, maybe China had something to do with it. And he's like, nah, we did it. Yes.
Shannon, did you have a favorite part?
No. I mean, I'm glad that Claire's, I think you're right. I think her storyline is done. That they were so easily able to take the eyepiece off of her. That was weird. I don't think I had a favorite part. I mean, it was just going with the flow.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of great one-liners in this episode.
There was.
Most of them come from Artie and Jinx.
Yeah, I wanted to say with Artie, I think this episode, more so than any other episode in the last few seasons, had him in his character the best because he was actually leading the warehouse. He didn't know everything, and he admitted that, and everybody knew that. But he was directing what was the attempt to save the warehouse and directing the actions of the agents and everything. He was his character more so than he has been for a lot of episodes, probably a couple of seasons. So I did enjoy the Artie character that was played and displayed in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. It was funny when they were up there and they're watching everything disappear. He says, well, I think the compass is under the warehouse. Jinx is like, there's an under the warehouse?
Yeah, you've been missing out this entire time.
Like, well, wait a minute.
There was the furnace that was down there, right?
That's it so far. And we found that out this season too.
The furnace. Well, we found it out last season. Was it last season or third season?
It's a couple seasons.
It was a couple seasons ago that we found that out. Yeah.
Paracelsus?
No, it was with
yeah, it was Paracelsus.
No, I mean Yes, but
Wait.
it was with M. What was his name? Not McAllister. Artie's friend.
McPherson.
It was McPherson. They went down there, right? So it was like season 2.
I don't remember them going under the warehouse. I remember them going to the Escher vault.
Okay.
Who? McPherson?
I don't remember there being.
I think the furnace was only with.
It's only with this storyline of Paracelsus.
It may have been with McPherson. Now that I'm trying to remember that, I don't remember. I guess we're gonna have to go back and listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
All of them.
Or you could just go back and watch that season.
There was at least 17 different artifacts that were shown in this episode.
I know there were a lot.
Yeah, there was the achromatic lens, the thing that was on Claire.
Oh, the thing on her eyeball, yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, there was the record player. There was the Inchtook, that was the blizzard thing that was in the freezer.
That was pretty funny, actually. That whole scene was pretty funny. That
it kept blowing them out of the freezer.
Well, that and there was a Artie sickle. He was called an Artie sickle, and then Pete was actually the one that remembered the glasses of the guy that did the thermostat or thermometer.
The zombie episode. Yep.
And
Albert Butts glasses, yeah.
Albert Butts, yeah. And Jinx brought the thing that makes an earthquake. He says, I think this will help. And then it blasts it off, so they can...
Artifacts right there.
Artie mumbling was actually kind of funny, too. Let me just get that for you.
Yeah, and that was straight. That was his great acting. That was Saul's great acting. And then that was the way his character would have been. There was the lab coat buttons, which were TNT. There was the sticky string that was trying to hold the thing together.
I think the sticky string just gave up.
We talked about Louis the 14th's forks that was in Volda's pocket. Mm-hmm. There was the jade elephant that discharges bolts of energy.
Yeah, killed the guy.
I knew I recognized that elephant. I'm like, where's black and white? No,
it's not black and white. Yeah, that was that was the guy that protected the regents' safe deposit boxes.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's dead now.
Yeah, elephants will do that to you.
The main artifacts of the episode were the tools for Haram Abif's. It was his
easy
tools.
For you to say.
I know. It was the compass and stuff that we were talking about. There was the record player, which we've been talking about before. The walking stick, that goes back to HG.
10.
What's that?
I've counted up to like 10 artifacts this episode.
There's 17 total, right? That I have written down, and that is not including the steering wheel. I was not able to get any information about the boat wheel that was in the office that Pete,
Oh, the boat. I'm like, where did that come from? I don't remember them ever being there.
In the pirate episode, maybe, that they brought in?
Well, there was one in the pirate episode, but it opened the floor. So that they could get down to the thing. I don't remember if that's always been in
the office and haven't put it away yet,
or not. It was really funny when he's like flipped it and everybody tilts. You could just see him on the camera. Now tilt.
There was the walking stick that created the tremors. That goes back to HG. When she was trying to destroy the world.
So there was the walking stick or Triton.
What's that?
No, it was a walking stick. Because it didn't have any spikes on it. She had a Triton.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, she had a Triton.
Okay. There was the workout trunks. There was the glass jar from the Donner Party. There was the spine Saracen.
Mentioned. Yeah. We didn't see it.
No.
But it was in the first time we saw Volda.
Yes.
Volda?
Yeah. And his Borg soldiers.
It was in the previously on, wasn't it?
Yes, it was in the previously on.
And his Borg soldiers. Say Borg soldiers. It was like just a couple days ago. Sasha goes, "What is a Borg?" I'm like, I got a show to watch. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. I sense a lot of Star Trek Next Generation in the future.
I mean, the best of both worlds, part 1 and 2, some of the best episodes of Star Trek ever.
I'll watch Star Trek Next Generation if you watch Star Wars with me. I'm like counting. I'm like, that's a bad deal for you. I could watch all of those and still going to have seasons worth of TNG. But okay, deal.
There's seasons worth of Star Trek.
There's a
I know,
season.
that's
You
what
mean
I'm-
Star Wars?
And
TNG.
seasons worth of Star Wars. Excuse me. That's what I was going to say.
You could skip Acolyte though.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was talking about the
Yes.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah, you could skip the series Acolyte.
Okay. Here's the thing about Star Wars. Just in a small aside here, you cannot do Star Wars without watching Rebels or the Clone Wars.
Agreed. Yeah, you do.
So there was the resistance bands. That was the circulation stuff. There was the windmill, and there was the giant buffalo coin.
What was the giant buffalo coin for?
A 5-cent coin struck by the U.S. Mill from 1913 to 1938, designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser. It was also adapted for a commemorative 2001 silver dollar. The head face features a Native American, and the tail face
Yeah, but
reportedly
when
depicts
was
Black
that
Diamond,
used?
the famous buffalo. A giant version of this coin is seen in the warehouse as the camera pans to show how large the warehouse is. After Artie tells Steve he does not know where Biff's compass is located.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't use it. It was just in the background.
It was just shown. Got it. Okay.
I mean, I
was
saw
like,
a
I
lot
don't
of
remember
stuff,
that.
like the big dinosaur skeleton and stuff like that. So.
And big Ferris wheel. I always wonder what the
Ferris
Ferris
wheel? I'm
wheels.
When did that come
I
up?
know.
for
I always
grabs?
wonder
When
what the Ferris wheel. What's its power? What's the Ferris wheel?
I mean, I haven't seen the pyramid in a long time, and that used to be in there. But the Ferris wheel, I'm like, what section are we in now?
I have no idea, but if it was my headcanon, I'd take the Ferris wheel from the 2008 Iron Man movie because that kicked off the MCU.
True. That would
Kid
be a
with the
good
ice
one.
cream fell off and everything.
Yep.
Couple things
since then, I
I've got. Shannon, a quick question. How many times have you saved the world?
We should get a raise.
0 paperwork. I claim nothing. Nothing. That was a trick question. I almost fell for it.
You passed.
Thank
This episode was directed by Michael McMurray. He has 33 producing credits since 1990, but only 4 directing credits starting in 2002, which notably is All Warehouse 13. But from a producing standpoint, he did the 1994 movie Tech War, 2 episodes of La Femme Nikita, 23 episodes of Earth Final Conflict, 3 webisodes of Warehouse 13 of Monsters and Men, 37 episodes of Warehouse 13, season 2 through 5, director of photography. He's a huge cinematographer. 8 episodes of Covert Affairs and 8 episodes of Reacher.
Covert Affairs. I like Covert Affairs. That was good stuff.
My favorite scene in this whole thing, you've already kind of covered it. It was when Artie and Steve saved the day. So that was my favorite one. However, I also put down Mrs. Fredrick had a sister. That little tidbit in that scene was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, they just kind of plopped that in there.
Yeah,
and you're like,
it
wait.
amazes me how much of the things that we discover of these characters the last 2 episodes. I'm like,
right?
The last 4 seasons meant nothing? You didn't tell us then? What?
I know. And the fact that the compass is still active, even though they put it away and they solved everything. And Mrs. Fredrick is like, there are some things even I can't fix. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on?
I think some of the stuff is put in there in case they did a made-for-TV movie later, like a mini-sode or something like that later. They would have it on record, so you're not injecting it in the miniseries later and saying, oh, this would have been a nice note during the series, that sort of thing. So it could have been
They
in
did
there.
talk about a spinoff with HG. Maybe that would have been where they would have continued on with the Regents. You remember hearing about that? I think we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. We've talked about that. There were no notable guest stars, but just want to give a shout out to last time we're going to see it, Mr. Keeler, who was the regent that was in the freezer in the grocery store. That was played by Jeffrey R. Smith. We talked about him before.
It's funny his name's Keeler when I think of him as Keebler.
Yeah, right.
Keebler? Well, he does work in a grocery store, so that fits.
In this
I
cute
can
little
see
chubby
that.
cheeks.
Yep, I can see that.
Any quotes?
The other one that I was thinking of is after Artie thaws out a bit was he was grumbling and Pete says, "Oh, good, he's grumpy. He'll be okay.
He's okay. Yes,
he's okay.
that's his normal
He's grumpy.
state.
He's okay.
We're fine."
Let me see. I don't think I had anyone else.
I don't remember seeing food either.
No, there was no food in this. There was talk of food.
The burritos.
Burritos and
The burritos, the Chinese fudge.
Yeah.
But there was no food eaten.
Yeah, no hot dogs in the park. I'm disappointed.
No hot dogs in the park.
all the picnics. You'd think they have something out there.
Right. Everybody was in the park. You think somebody'd be eating something.
All right, it's time to play the game. You guys know what the game is. We have seen 63 episodes so far. I've rated all the episodes 1 to 63. We've been keeping the list over time. And the game is Shannon and Carolyn get to guess where I have ranked this episode.
63 is our top.
1 to 63. 1 is the best. 63 is the least favorite.
You want to go first, Carolyn?
No.
42.
42?
It's the answer to life.
The universe and everything, yes. But what is the question?
42.
No, the question is, what is 6 times 9?
Well, you said I was just answering.
Mm-hmm. I always thought there was something fundamentally wrong with the universe.
I'm going to say 25.
25.
Mm-hmm.
42
wow, that's generous.
and 25. You guys are going to kill me. I went 7.
Because of all the
What
things
the
in
heck?
Claudia's story?
Yeah, it's Claire. It's Claire's story. So I put it below the 40th floor, but I put it above Secret Service. And Secret Service is the one where Artie uses the artifact to take Claudia back in her memories for Claire.
Okay.
And this was the conclusion of that. So number 7. And I thought it was a good Artie episode and everything. I am discounting the whole Pete Myka relationship this season. So
it rubbed me the wrong way because
it's
it was
very cringy, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, it was.
that
It
out
was
there.
like it. I mean, I get why they did it. I get why they put it in the story, but it just
You get where they're trying to go with it.
yeah.
But see, think about this. If you're seeing this for the first time, and then where are we at? One episode left?
We have one episode left.
If you just have one episode left, and then all of a sudden that happens, you're like,
Where'd that come from?
where'd that come from?
I mean, I
Out
know
of all
they've been
these
building
episodes.
it up, but
Yeah, well, they build up HG and her too for an entire season. So this has only been building up for the past 3 episodes,
yeah.
and then wham! I'm like, what?
No,
I mean, they have slept together before
with Artie's toothbrush.
with the toothbrush.
Blonde hair and
Don't
tennis
forget the
balls.
toothbrush and the blonde hair. I mean,
All right. We actually have some feedback to go through, but it is not the feedback that we have been going through in the past. It's not an email. We'll get to
Here
that
on
later.
Twitter.
And it's not
X, whatever.
a YouTube comment. It is an X post. So
Or
what do we
Twitter.
got, Carolyn?
well, we got messaged by Robert Bruce. He has been emailing us several emails, and we've loved every one of them. He talked to us and started following us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, to introduce himself. And he says he's really going to miss us and wants to know what we're going to do in the future. He says he hasn't ever emailed anyone before while was listening to podcasts, but he sure is
He
glad
felt
he did for
motivated.
us. And we are sure glad you did message us. We've loved every email. Anyone's email, but we've loved everyone's email. I see that he started watching Farscape, which is really good. Sanctuary was another one he's watched. He is of the same mind as Shannon about The Expanse, but I think both of them should give it another try and really watch it.
And him and I both think that you should watch more Orphan Black.
Yes, I know. Well, you watch more Expanse, I'll watch more Orphan Black. In
There
all of
was
our
a
spare
deal.
time.
There was a deal. 1 episode per 1 episode.
Yep. He does want to know what our plans are next, and that we have at least 2 listeners, him and Gary. So Thanks for the comments on there, Robert Bruce. We're not sure what we're doing next. That is still among the discussions as far as what we are going to do next. But please keep throwing us comments and things on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and we will definitely keep replying. We've loved every single feedback we've gotten over our entire podcast. We greatly appreciate all of them. And seriously, if anybody has any more, or even after we're done, if they have some, maybe we'll gather them all up and
good
do a
suggestions
podcast
for shows for us to do.
And then we'll do a podcast on answering all the ones that we didn't get to answer on our last podcast. So send in those reviews for us, send in those comments, send in those suggestions for our next podcast, maybe what you'd love to hear. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks, Robert.
Yep, we will indeed. And you can get a hold of us on our email address. That's warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. That's warehouse, the numbers 13fancast@gmail.com. As Carolyn just alluded to, we have one episode left. We will be covering Warehouse 13, Season 5, Episode 6, Endless. Shannon, which synopsis do you want me to cover? The one from tvguide.com, the one from Amazon Prime Video, or the one from the Internet Movie Database?
That one.
The Internet Movie
Last
Database?
one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The IMDb description reads, the team shares stories of their defining moments. Pete has a hard time accepting the end of Warehouse 13. Claudia has a difficult time accepting her future role as the warehouse caretaker. That is Warehouse 13's finale, Season 5, Episode 6, Endless.
We're having a hard time accepting it's over, too.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
Well,
and again. And again.
and again.
I have never seen The Librarians, so I'd be up to at least watch the first movie and see if
You
it's my
should.
shtick. Yeah.
So there's movies and then there's the series.
There's
Correct.
three
Yes.
movies, and then the series, and then a new series that's coming out too.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Anything that Dean Devlin does, I swear I love it. So
Where can I
He
find
has-
the movies at?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to go. You'd have to Google it. I honestly
will
don't.
just watch it.
Actually, I do know. It might be on his Electric Now app. It's Electric Now. It's his app, and I think a website. It might. All of his things are usually there. So
Okay. I'll find it Saturday when I'm at work.
all of
Give
his
my-
stuff is good.
Long 12 hours.
All of
All
his
right.
stuff is good. The Outpost will be there too. You'd love the Outpost.
The 2003 movie, The Librarians. I think that's the one that started it all off. It's on Stars,
It's not
I
on
just
his
canceled
network?
that.
and it says it's on Prime Video, so it might be on Prime too.
That I have. Yes. Like I just
All right.
canceled Stars.
So we'll look into that, and we'll make a decision next week on where we go. In the
2
meantime,
weeks.
Well, we won't be here next week.
well,
It'll
I
be
mean,
the following week.
long-term listeners, if somebody finds this podcast years in the future, it'd be like, okay, it's the next episode. So you got to
True.
play a little bit of timeless stuff. Anyway,
Okay.
until next time, I am the Janitor SP.
This is Sci-Fi Girl.
And this is Ocean 363.
I'm going to
Will we
take
get some
those
Chinese takeout?
underwear to the cleaners and get the French maid outfit back.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Next time it'll be less crunchy when you put them on.
Thanks for joining us for an episode of the Artie's Addict Warehouse 13 Fancast. You can find all our episodes at warehouse13fancast.com. If you'd like to contact us, you can hit us up on our email at warehouse13fancast@gmail.com. We are a part of the Lone Wolf Podcast Network. You can hear more of this cast and other shows like it by checking out lonewolfpodcasts.com. The intro music is Sci-Fi Hybrid Intro by Soundmake, and the outro music is Science Fiction by Tunes to Go. Both were purchased on pond5.com.